Good morning. This is your Monday 707. It's always a pleasure. And we have been talking about the 7 different types of currencies. Guess what? The lowest of them is money. And we started off by talking about time, which is a major currency, much higher than money. Okay, this is the second part of a 2-part series when we're talking about time. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're inspired. I hope you're uplifted and more knowledgeable about how to manage and trade with the currencies of life. Thank you, and this is your next level masterclass. Tune in. Let's see what's up. We talked about the different words that are used, okay, to describe time. We describe it as buying time, we talk about saving time, we talk about spending time. But here's the thing, especially in African society, the one thing that we don't do is, now that we know time is money, do we translate that into a transactional conversation? So here's words that you don't hear people using when they're describing money. They don't talk about budget with time, but we talk about budgets with money, right? But we don't talk about budgets when we are dealing with time. We don't talk about profits when we are dealing with time, but yet it's a currency, isn't it? So we don't talk about selling, and yet that's what we do. Every day you wake up, you're selling your time. Let me explain selling. I went to hotel school for 4 or 5 years, okay? When I run a hotel business and I'm working there, an entrepreneur who has got money is going to put money into a hotel, but then he'll call me to come and run the hotel. Now, what am I selling? Because he's paying me. I'm selling the 5 years that I spent in campus. That entrepreneur has the ability to go to school and get 5 years in campus and learn what I learn, assuming we have the same IQ. But what they have is they don't have the time to go to campus. So they pay someone who has gone to campus and spent that time. Now they are selling that time. So I'm now selling my time. Okay? And this is how you look at a job. How to know whether you're being well paid or underpaid. How much time have you spent buying that craft, perfecting that craft? That is what determines whether you're in the right job. If they are paying you 100,000 and you're using 5% of your skill, they are underpaying you. Where are you taking the 95%? If they are paying you 100,000 and you're using 100% of your skill, they are probably overpaying you, because it's not possible that everything that you've learned is being used in that job. So how much of your skill are you selling? All right. So these are very important things: selling, profit, and budgeting. Okay. So let me talk about budgeting. Successful people are in love with today. I need you to get this, because this is so important. Successful people fall in love with today. They love today. They guard their today. They are so circumspect about how they administer their today to the world. They don't think too much about yesterday, not too much about tomorrow, today. Okay? So here's what they do. They budget for their time. And this is one of the things that you have to learn if you want to be successful. Number 1, never start your day before you finish it. When you get your salary, or when you make a bit of money, you've got money, the first thing you do before you spend it is you sit down and you budget, right? So you plan. I've got 10,000 shillings. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. When you finish your plan, then you walk out with your wallet. True? Same thing with time. Before you start your day, sit down and budget for every hour that you're going to spend that day. You sit down and you see your entire day from, let's assume, I know you are probably an early riser, right? So 5 a.m., what am I doing from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9? Budget for the entire 24 hours that you have. That's one of the tricks to being successful. And this is one of the very basic things that people don't do. Guys say, you know what, anything can happen today. No. Even if you're employed, sit down and budget for your hours before your work, even during your work. What is it that you're planning to do? Plan for it. Write it down on a piece of paper all the way up to the end. Budgeting. And the other thing that follows a budget is always a review. So in finance, when you budget for your 10,000 shillings, you come back and check, how did I spend my 10,000 shillings? Is there a deficit? Is there an excess? Is there something I need to reevaluate? You do the exact same thing with your time. Successful people always sit down and review their day. I planned to do this from 5 to 6. Did I do it? I planned to do this from 6 to 7. Did I do it? Why didn't I do it? Because here's the thing. The problem with time, unlike money, is you cannot buy it back. You see, if I lose 10,000 shillings, I can go and someone can say, hey, I'm so sorry. I found your 10,000 shillings here. Can I give it back to you? And you can get it back. But the problem with time is it is perishable. So whether or not you budget for your time, you're going to spend it. So what successful people do is they sit down, budget, and then at the end of the day, you must make time to review how you spent your time. When you do that, you keep tweaking different things in your day until eventually you're able to optimize your time. Are you a flight attendant? You're going to be on the plane for 6 hours? Guess what? You're going to be working for about 4 hours. Get 2 hours. Have a book that you sit with in the plane. When you're done doing your job and you're sitting down, read a book. Put in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. What you're doing is you're redeeming your time. If you work in a hotel, redeem your time. Always sit down and see, because when I budget my day in the morning, what I do is I check, where am I likely to have gaps? Are you going to a hospital? You'll have waiting time. You'll be with a doctor for 15 minutes, but you're probably going to spend 2 hours in the hospital. That 1 hour, 45 minutes, spend it on something valuable. Carry a book, carry a gadget, and quantify what you're going to do with that time. So, selling time, budgeting for your time, those are very important things, and making sure your time is profitable. So what you do is always review and ask yourself, was this the best use of my 1,000 shillings? Was this the best use of my 1 hour? Innovation is birthed from people that want to optimize on their time. If you look at almost every innovation that is there, transport, trains, you look at gadgets, phones, M-Pesa, all innovations are built around one thing. Most of them are trying to buy back time. So when we move forward in technology, what we are doing is we are simply optimizing our time and making it more profitable. Profit is very simple. Reducing your costs, increasing your revenue. That what I get from this thing is far much more than what I spent on it. That is the genesis of innovation. All right? So that's basically our series. We're talking about time. Okay? You must understand time as a currency so that when you trade with it, you're always making profit. Always making profit. Make sure you save your time. Make sure you buy time. Make sure you redeem time where you lose it. And always make sure that you're aware of who is benefiting from the time that you're spending on various relationships. You do that, success becomes easy. One of the people that I love listening to says, may you never be so poor that all you have is money. And I'll keep saying that so that you understand it. The lowest currency in life is money. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. We're talking about time. And if you don't have the first part, please make sure that you go back and check it out. Check it out on this link and make sure you catch that first part of a 2-part series talking about time. Next week, we are talking about the next currency. Guess what? I'll tell you about it next week. See you then. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Victor Machoka. Always a pleasure. This is Your Next Level.